Hey everyone, welcome back to the Arrow Off Script channel, where in today's video we are going to be reacting to some mildly interesting Am I the A-hole Reddit posts. Now these posts are a little bit more tame than the ones that we have read in previous posts. Now all of these are roughly 3 to 10 hours new in posting. So we're getting some fresh posts, we're getting some interesting details. Now let us head on to the first post. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom to stop acting like I have my stepdad's last name? This was posted 4 hours ago. My mom and stepdad started dating. My mom and stepdad started dating when I was 7 years old. She is 15 now. My dad died a year before that, but 2 years ago I found out my parents were heading for a divorce when dad died, and she wasn't happy with him, so moving on faster was easier for her, and that was why she wasn't sensitive to my feelings when she was dating my stepdad. I like my stepdad, and I'm glad my mom's happy. I have a good relationship with my half-siblings. There aren't any issues between us at all. The only thing is, I have a different last name to them. My mom took my stepdad's last name when they got married. They asked about changing my name and maybe adoption, but I said no. It was dropped when I said no, but my mom on and off will use my stepdad's last name when talking about me instead of my last name. Like, sometimes she'll say I'm M. Smith instead of M. Jones, or she'll tell people I'm a Smith too. When my aunt was planning her wedding, she listed us as Smith-Jones family, and my mom said it was just Smith. My aunt pointed out I was Jones, and my mom stopped fighting it but said we could be just Smith. There's also times when she full names me, but instead of using my actual full name, she uses my stepdad's last name instead. It has always bothered me, and I did correct her a few times, but I tried to not turn it into a fight. I'm not even trying to fight my mom now, but it's sort of become one. What happened is my mom ordered this family by heart tree, which is basically something that lets you include whoever. She used full names and put me down as Smith instead of Jones. I told my mom a mistake was made with my name, and she said it wasn't. I told her I didn't like being called a Smith when I'm a Jones. Mom asked what the big deal is, and she said I'm still a Smith regardless. I said I'm a Jones or a Johnson, her old last name, but not a Smith. She asked me why I didn't want to use the family name, and I said I do have the family name, my family name, and I told her she needs to accept it and stop acting like I have my stepdad's last name. He walked in on us talk/fighting about it, and he was hurt that I wanted the name changed, and he asked if we could talk about it when things were calmer. I agreed, and mom was like, fine. It came back up a couple days later, and my mom and stepdad were talking about it. Mom started off by saying I'm the kid, and I don't get to tell her what to do. I told her I don't see why she keeps trying to act like I have a different last name than I do. I said it might be dad's last name, but it's mine too, and I don't want to change it. I said I thought they accepted it. My stepdad said he had, but it hurt a little that I was so against using his. My mom said I was making a bigger deal out of it than it is, and she's not hurting anyone by doing it. She told me Jones still goes on everything official, but I'm a Smith too, and she thinks I should want to be. I told her I just want to be able to keep my name the way it is. I told her I don't like when she uses Smith for me specifically. I said if she wants to call us the Smith family, that's fine, that I don't see why she's bothered by Smith-Jones, but at least say I'm a Jones. Mom wanted me to apologize for telling her what to do, and I said I couldn't because I don't feel I'm in the wrong to say that what I've already told her is how I feel. Am I the a-hole? Alrighty. Okay, I swear I say this about literally every post I read, but no. One, you're 15 years old. You're standing your ground, and you, to me, it seems like you loved your dad. Your dad passed on, and you want to keep his name, and that's totally fair. You want to keep your father's, last name, and honestly, that comes down to the child's choice. Like, sure, like as an adult you can legally change your child's name before they're 18, but it comes down to the child's choice. And honestly, I think your mom is acting a lot more like a child than you are, because you've stated I don't like this. You're setting your boundary. You're saying, like, honestly, to me, like you said, you like your stepdad, so you have no personal thing against him. And sure, he has every right to feel kind of hurt that you don't want to use his last name, but at the same time, both your stepdad and your mom need to understand that, one, you're keeping that last name because it was the name that was that was something that attaches you to your dad. Two, that's what you want. And as parents, parents should want obviously what's best for their kids. And if your kid is telling you, hey, this is what I want / need, as a parent, you need to listen to that. And to me, I obviously, like you said, your parents were already heading into a divorce before he had passed on. So to me, it just seems like she kind of wants to erase all of that history of your father ever existing, which is really, it's really rude, very disrespectful. It doesn't help anyone, and you're 15. You're old enough to make your own choices. You're getting to the point where you will be making your own choices, and your mom can't change that. So, by the proclaimed Am I the A-hole queen, not the a-hole. Now, this second post is a little bit shorter. I did find, so that first post was the longest one. The two next ones we'll read are quite a bit shorter. But that's not a problem. So let us get on to this one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to switch seats on a plane with a guy that was fake crying saying, I need this seat today? So I, 22 male, recently took a flight home after visiting some friends. I booked my seat months in advance, a nice window seat, because I like to put my music on and just vibe. I mean, who doesn't? I get on the plane and there's already a guy, probably mid-30s, sitting in my seat. I politely tell him that he's in the wrong spot. He looks up at me and just goes, oh yeah, I was hoping you'd switch with me. I have a middle seat like 5 rows back. I tell him, yeah, no thanks, I picked this seat for a reason. He sighs super dramatically and goes on, come on man, have a heart. I just shake my head and say, sorry, but I'm sitting in the seat I paid for. At this point, he starts to tell me every bad thing that has happened in his life, because clearly he wasn't that sad of a person but wanted to seem like one. And then he starts crying, like loud, over the top sobs. The lady next to him looks super uncomfortable. The flight attendant comes over to ask what's going on, and before I can even say anything, he goes, is there no humanity left on you, asshole? I explain the situation, and the flight attendant just stares at him and goes, sir, please move. Dude gets up all huffy and says, wow, some people are just heartless. Then he dramatically walks off to his middle seat. I thought that was the end of it, but when we landed, he stood up, looked me dead in the eyes, and said, I hope you have a terrible life. So, am I the a-hole for not switching seats? No. Honestly, that's the thing with flights, though, and people need to understand that, is that when you pay for a seat in advance, that is your seat. I have taken many flights, and, we pay for our seats. We pay for our seats in advance. Either you pay for them months in advance, or you pay for them, you select your seats 2 days before the flight. It costs a little more to pay for a seat in advance, but it is usually a better option if you want to secure your seat, you want the seat that you want. And honestly, the fact that, he just started to ramble about all the terrible things in his life and whatnot, he didn't give you a proper reason as to why he wanted this seat. And if he wanted a window seat so badly, he should have booked months in advance. That's the crazy thing to me, is how entitled people feel sometimes. I sit there and I'm wondering, I'm like, why? Who let you be this entitled? Who gave you that fucking ego? Because really, you paid for the seat so much in advance, and this random guy's just sitting there, and he's like, no, but all these bad things, and this seat's really gonna make me feel better. I'm sorry, how the hell is a seat on a plane going to make you feel better? Is that seat on the plane helping you process these emotions? No, you're just being a dick because you want to sit by a window seat. Come on. Not the a-hole. And now for the last one. This last post is quite a bit shorter, but I have a feeling I am going to have a lot more of an opinion on it. So, let us get into this. Am I the a-hole for being upset that they didn't tell me they were trans? I'm a bit confused right now, and I haven't really spoken about it with them yet because they can be a bit flighty. Me and this person met, and we found out we have a lot in common, so we ended up going out on a date. We never went on a second date, but I did meet their friends. They ended up being really late, so I was trying to be nice and friendly with everyone, which was easy because the group's pretty cool most of the time. But one of their mates mentioned something about them being trans and also having feelings for me. I would have never guessed they transitioned. Honestly, good on them. But I was completely taken off guard and put in a really awkward position. I was asked about my sexuality and preferences when I had no clue what to think. I like them, but I'd never really put much thought into being with someone who is transgender, mostly because it's just never come up in my dating life yet. To be honest, I feel confused about the whole thing, and I'm annoyed they didn't get the chance to say anything about it to me before I was bombarded with random info and group drama, which I don't want to get into, and a bunch of questions I don't know the answer to. By the way, this all went down yesterday while I wasn't at all sober. I know this topic is pretty complicated, especially since we have different experiences with life, but I still feel bad about being upset with everyone. So am I the a-hole? Edit. I need to clarify, I'm not upset with them. I'm upset I wasn't told by them and that they didn't have the chance to tell me themselves. Honestly, like, that's the thing though, is that, like, you're not the a-hole for feeling the way you were. Like, you mentioned you weren't sober when you were bombarded with these questions of, like, ooh, would you date a trans person? Ooh, what do you think your sexuality is? Ooh, 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 like, all these things. Like, you said you weren't sober. So, one, that makes it harder to just process the questions being asked to you and processing the info. But two, like, I'm part of the LGBTQ community. I'm bisexual, and I find, like, it's hard. It can be hard. It can be difficult to tell people that. Like, I'm pretty open about it, but especially when you're interested in someone and something that big as being transgender or whatnot, that's something that takes time for them to tell you. If they're comfortable enough around you, they will tell you themselves. And I agree. It sucks when friends are telling you this because their friends have zero right to tell you that. That is this person's personal info, and they can choose who they share it with and when they share it. And the fact that their friends told you while you weren't sober and then started throwing all these questions at you is really weird for me. It doesn't sit right with me because I wouldn't really consider that friends. Like, when I talk about some of my friends, like, obviously if I'm like, I know my friends are very comfortable with me talking about them and whatnot, but I don't go around telling people their sexualities or their gender identities or whatnot because I respect my friends and I care deeply for them. And I totally understand, like, feeling sad that they didn't tell you themselves, but also at the same time, you need to understand that, like, they will tell you in their own time. It's like when you have a crush on someone and your friends tell that person that you have a crush on them rather than you telling your crush that you like them. That's a similar feeling. It's like it's not their secret to share. It's yours. It's your info, your feelings, who you are. And who you are as a person, you get to dictate who you tell and what you tell them. Like, nobody's entitled to knowing your sexuality, your gender identity, your real name if you go by a different name. Nobody's entitled to knowing any of that info. And like I said, I understand that that you would prefer that they had told you, and honestly, I think they would have, given the chance and the time. They would have. But also sometimes, like, it just, like I said, it just takes time. It takes time to get to know people. It takes time for them to feel comfortable around you. And it honestly, it depends on them. Like, their past. Did it go well? Like, if they told their parents, did that experience go well? Did they tell past partners and those people broke up with them for the reason of them being trans? Like, you never know. So sometimes people are a little bit hesitant to tell. And then that's why, like, the friend group will kind of come in and help and tell you, the poster. But honestly, I wouldn't consider you the a-hole because I get it. You just wish that they had told you themselves. And I get that. And that's totally okay. Like, there is nothing wrong with wanting somebody to tell you info about them when it's coming from someone else. There's nothing wrong with that. So, not the a-hole. Now, I want to thank everybody. I'm sorry that this video was quite a bit shorter, but when this video comes up, let me look, on the 20th, I am going to be moving across the country on the 26th. of February. So there won't necessarily be any new videos for a week or two as I settle in, get used to my new schedule. I might try streaming again, so be aware, be on the lookout on Twitch for Arroccino. I might be streaming a little bit more. I want to thank you all for 474 followers. That is insane. We are literally like 26 subscribers away from getting monetized on YouTube. And I want to just thank you guys so very much. I haven't done anything super special to celebrate getting like 300 subscribers, 400 subscribers. But if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments below what you guys would want me to do to celebrate 500 subs. Let me know in the comments below, and I will either take one of your guys' ideas or I'll come up with something along those lines. And again, I really just want to thank you guys for all the support that you guys have been giving me. I definitely didn't think that the Arrow Off Script channel would do better than the Arroccino channel, and that's just because I really want the Arroccino channel to work out just as well as the Arrow Off Script, but I'm having a lot of fun making these Am I the A-hole videos, and if you guys have any content that you want me to specifically react to, let me know in the comments below as well, and I will go and take a look at that, and maybe I'll react to it. I have a couple ideas. I have a notebook full of like ideas for reaction stuff, but we'll get to that once I'm a little bit more settled in my new home. I am going to be going to film school. I've mentioned it a few times, but I'm going to be going to film school, so YouTube videos will be a little bit less likely to happen. It'll be a lot more difficult for me to make YouTube videos, but again, truly, thank you so much for 474 subscribers. Thank you so very much for all the support that you guys have given me and all of your comments and just giving your time to watch my videos. I really appreciate that, and you guys are amazing. So with that, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, guys!